World of Warcraft 2 is not going to happen, and that's because it already exists. What's up, everybody? It's me, Crendor, and welcome back to Crendor Talks in front of a shitty green screen. Today, I want to talk about why WoW 2 is not going to happen, at least in my opinion, and that's because retail WoW is pretty much WoW 2. Whenever I get people that come into my streams and they're like, Crendor, what do you think of WoW 2? Like, do you think they're going to make WoW 2 soon, all this stuff? I would bet money that it's not going to happen. And at this point in society, you can bet money on anything. So I'm actually not going to bet money. But I don't see it happening. I think Classic Plus is a much more realistic thing to occur. And then we would have, Classic WoW, which is WoW 1. And they would be developing content for Classic WoW the same way Old School RuneScape develops stuff for Old School RuneScape. And then Retail WoW is essentially WoW 2. It's the new version of WoW. And it's where we have this much faster paced game with, collectibles and various different things that are, insanely different from Classic WoW. And so I just want to go and contrast the two games just to show how different they are. And also to really point out, like, they're really not going to make a WoW 2 unless it's like some revolutionary thing. Other people will be like, the graphics would get updated, but really WoW is not about the graphics, and it's never been about the graphics. WoW has its own style, right? It has that Warcraft 3 style. It's always had that style, and they've upped it in quality, but it still maintains that Warcraft style. And to me, that's one of the reasons that I love the World of Warcraft graphics. Like, it's timeless. They're fantastic. I could make a whole video on just the World of Warcraft graphics, to be honest, but let's talk about just the structure of the games. So Classic WoW is very much the hero's journey, right? Like, when you start Classic WoW, you are a nobody, and it is about you. The guy, wherever you go, I always think of Duratar, but he's like, it's a brave new world out there, right? And he's like, this is time for you to begin your journey because you're literally a nobody, and you're committing to the grind of going out into the world of Warcraft and making your own path. While retail, you are already a champion, right? They tell you it constantly. They go champion, champion, champion. It's like, bro, I don't need to be called a champion every like 2 seconds. Plus, I always feel bad for people that just started playing the game and all of a sudden all these like characters are like champion and you're like, I didn't do anything, right? You just got here. You haven't even completed any of the old raids. You haven't helped like any of the old lore characters. You literally just showed up. You power level. You might have even just boosted your character all the way, and all of a sudden they're like, champion, get over here. And it's like, I didn't do anything, right? And I think that's the difference, is retail WoW doesn't really care about the leveling experience. And it's been shown time and time again that retail WoW really just puts leveling on the back burner. And here, like, they'll do things to help out the leveling process, right? They'll add chromie time. They'll add, a little newbie leveling area. They'll add all these little things. But the main goal of retail WoW is they want you to get to endgame, and they want you to play endgame daily or weekly or just whatever. Like, it's all focused on the endgame, right? Which leads me to my next point, which is that Classic is about the world. It's about the actual world of Warcraft and exploring that world and making your name in the world. And honestly, it can feel at times like leveling is the game. In fact, that's kind of how I view it, because I've already done like most of the stuff in classic vanilla World of Warcraft. And so whenever I play it, I'm almost just replaying that nostalgic exploration of the world. And sure, I've done it numerous times over and over again. I did it back 20 years ago. I did it like last year with Hardcore WoW. I've done it so many times, but every time that I play through, it really does feel like I'm on this kind of adventurous, fantasy journey, and I'm re-exploring all these things. And obviously, I'm the type of person that loves exploring this game. There's so many little things to notice. I mean, I'm constantly making my pointless top 10s where it's like I'm finding things that I didn't even know were in the game. I'll go exploring and be like, dude, I didn't even realize that was in the game, and I've been here numerous times and I've played for 20 years, right? There's so many things out in the world to find and explore and just experience. And so when you get to retail WoW, it really focuses more on the collection of things and end game progression, right? Retail is about get to max level, and then you can collect all these different things like the currencies. You complete dailies. You got to do your dailies every day, right? There's achievements to earn. There's mounts to get. There's You know, it almost feels like there's so many things that can be overwhelming at times. And I think that's kind of a product of modern game design where it has like, I wouldn't say mobile game. It's not a mobile game, but I think a lot of the video game industry in general and just the world at this point has been almost figured out at how to get people's attention and keep their attention and just keep feeding them little bits of dopamine, right? Or serotonin or whatever brain chemicals firing off. And it almost feels like an amusement park. It feels like when you play retail WoW, you're on this amusement park. And honestly, like, it might sound like I'm bashing retail WoW here, but like I genuinely enjoy both games. Like I play both. I love collecting mounts. I love getting all the little stuff, and I still explore the world in retail WoW, but it's less important to explore the world now. It's just the exploration's almost like just a fun little thing you can do. It doesn't really it doesn't really matter that much, right? There's like little like treasures and trinkets and little things you can find, but for the most part, you know, you're in the major cities, you're going to delves, you're PvPing, you're doing raids and Mythic Plus and like all this stuff. While in Classic, it's very much this old school RPG feeling. It's slow, right? And people know that it's slow. It's a grind, and the quests are a grind. They're, you know, there's no fun quests like how in retail WoW they're like, get into this cannon and like shoot these guys and blast. I mean, we even had that in like Mist of Pandaria, right? But Classic WoW is very much like, hey, there's some kobolds attacking my house, man. Can you like go kill them? And you're like, yeah, I can do that. Like, it's just the quests in Classic WoW are pretty much an excuse for you to grind the majority of the time, or for you to just go talk to somebody and learn something. But it really is that old type of RPG feeling, and it's slow and grindy. But I think because it's that way, it makes you feel like everything is earned. And so even something like a green shoulder pad that you find in a dungeon, or that drops off a higher level mob, or, you know, acquiring like a few pieces of gold, like you have 8 gold now, like it feels very meaningful and very fulfilling to have those things. Like, this is so cool, right? Like finding gear upgrades is more difficult. Earning money is more difficult until you figure it out, and then there's people, you know, making a bunch of money. But you know what I mean, right? And as you level and progress, the game just becomes a slog of more like, oh boy, I'm level like 51 now. It's gonna take me like a day to get to 52, right? And again, there's like exceptions. People figure things out. There's, you know, frost mages running around, AoE and shit and everything. But like, for the most part, if you're giving somebody that hasn't played the game before the game and saying, hey, level to 60, they're going to hit the point where they're like, oh my God, I'm just grinding centaurs and desolates. Oh my God, I'm just like grinding mobs in the blasted lands, right? Like it is very slow. But I think I would compare that more to like going on a hike or going camping out in the woods, right? Like it's very tedious. You're going up the mountains, you're sweating. You're like, there's like ticks on my legs, I'm gonna get Lyme disease, right? You're like going all through here, but at the same time, you can like stop and like make a fire, and you can like look out at the stars and be like, man, this is really cool, right? Like, this is so relaxing and peaceful. Aside from the Lyme disease, it's really nice. And that's really what I love about the classic World of Warcraft, is that it's about that world. It's about going out into the world and experiencing everything there is to experience, like the little, you know, tribes of people out in the desolate lands, or in the barrens, or in, you know, the bugs in Tanaris, or the furbolgs up in the winter spring have been corrupted. Like, there's so many little stories all over the world to experience and grow as you go on this hero's journey. Now, when we get to retail WoW, right, it does become a lot more like just they've pretty much got you on the roller coaster, right? And you're on it, and you're on the ride, and it's like, all right, don't get off the ride now, right? And we're going around, and that's how we're experiencing things. And if you can get off the ride if you want, but they really want you to stay on the ride. But like, don't get me wrong, it's still, there's so many fun things to do, and it feels like they are improving how you even play retail World of Warcraft with things like delves, where there are challenges, right? Like, I've died in delves. Like, a lot of the gameplay in retail WoW is kind of the fulfilling part, where in classic WoW, a lot of it feels almost like simplistic. Retail WoW has so much more depth in terms of like the spells and abilities and the mechanics of the bosses and the different things in the fights, and there's like pew pew, like it's very much more of an action MMORPG and less of a slow grindy Dungeons and Dragons style of game. And so when you put all this together, right, I think that's when you really start to realize that these are two completely different games. And so I think the way you solve this is you just treat them like two different games. And that's why I think Classic Plus really is the best way forward with Classic WoW, because a lot of people just want Classic WoW's gameplay style, but they want more of it. They want the, you know, new zones. They want new classes. They want new talents. They want just new ways to play the old version of the game. And then we get to Retail WoW, and I think the biggest problem with it is sometimes it feels like things are just going too fast, right? Like, we're leveling too fast. We're experiencing the story too fast. We're just like, we're getting currency too fast and gear too fast, right? But it does feel like the leveling in Midnight has slowed down a bit, which was pretty nice. I've enjoyed the slower leveling there, but you still have those problems of like new players are like, what am I doing here, right? But they give you more things to do once you've gotten past that leveling experience, like player housing, right? They just put so much effort into player housing. They're not going to make an entire new WoW 2 game after they put so much effort into player housing in this whole system, unless the system was like that easy to carry over to a new game. But it wouldn't really make sense. Like there's just so much with Retail WoW already that it works. Like, even though it is this like amusement park and there's like flashing lights and collecting things and stuff, it does work, and it depends what mood you're in. And I think that's at the end of the day what it's all about. It's what type of player are you? Do you like that slow grind, or do you want that like fast-paced action, you know, give me stuff now, right? Do you want the camping hiking trip, or do you want to go to the amusement park, is how I feel. And so I think we're going to get more stuff for Classic WoW, and we're going to get more stuff for Retail WoW. Obviously, Retail WoW is always getting stuff, but I think they're going to keep fine-tuning both games, and that's really what it's going to be. We're not going to have a brand new World of Warcraft. I mean, hell, we can't even get them to repair Booty Bay. Like, come on, man. They've been repairing that shit for like 16 years now, right? Either way, that's all I wanted to talk about. I felt like going on a rant today. And I've had a lot of people asking me about WoW 2. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to rant about my WoW 2 opinions. So thanks for listening and watching. Hopefully you agreed. If you didn't, comment down below. And if you did, comment down below. Just share your thoughts about anything I've said or your opinions on if WoW 2 will actually happen. So thank you very much. I'll put some more videos up on the screen. We got pointless top 10s. We got pointless facts. We got just so many videos. Go check them out. And I will see you next time. Okay? Okay. See ya.